Hello, JUSTJEM here and welcome, or indeed welcome back to my channel. I am doing a Scratch That Itch today, and I apologise in advance because it's not going to be as in-depth as my Scratch That Itch videos tend to be. I say that as if I've done mountains and mountains of them historically. I haven't done that many, but my intention is that it's going to be an ongoing thing that I do, especially now that I'm not buying as much as I have done in the past. I'm going to be using a palette that I have already used to scratch that itch, and I debated whether or not I should do this, and then I thought, but no, that's kind of the point, because I want to highlight that a lot of the new releases, quite often you have it in some shape or form, and if I keep going back to the same palettes, I guess it kind of proves a point. So I'm going to lean into that and I'm going to stick with it, and I'm going to use a palette I've already used in a Scratch That Itch video. I'm filming these out of sequence because new makeup is going to come before this, but I'm obviously filming this. I think if you watch them in order you'll know. But I'm going to be scratching that itch using this here Smoky palette. And if you've seen the finished look in new makeup, then you already know what itch I've scratched, and I think it's probably quite obvious based on recent releases what itch this could potentially scratch, and it's Bella Beaute Bar Yin and Yang. And before you come for me and start saying in the comments about how the formulas are wildly apart, I fully appreciate that. Beauty Bay v Bella Beaute Bar formula are not on the same league. Don't get me wrong, Beauty Bay do excellent formulas. However, especially now I've experimented with the Bella Beaute Bar formula and I know what I'm doing, that's clearly superior. But remember guys, we're scratching an itch. We're not boiling the ocean. I don't think that's the right turn of phrase to use, but it felt appropriate. I don't know why. I think I will show the box in the corner of what I'm using, but I haven't done like for like. I've not gone through the Bella Beaute Bar palette and studied all the pictures and picked out shades, partly because I think you get the idea. And look, I'm not going to teach you to suck eggs. I think you've got eyes, you can see colours, and also because I don't have enough time. I was meant to get up earlier than I did, but my bed was too comfortable, and I'm not going to lie, I stayed in there far longer than I should have done. And I apologise if I sound like I've smoked 20 cigarettes this morning. It's because it's, I can't even say it's that early in the morning. It's not, it's just this is the first time I'm speaking all day, so my voice hasn't warmed up yet. I apologise, it's a little bit husky. Enough rambling, that's the longest, most long-winded intro ever, but enough. I think because it is daytime and it's a friend's birthday, so I'm spending the day with a friend for her birthday and with her family, so it's smoky is probably not the best way to go, but maybe soft smoky, something very, very delicate. Do I go grey? Do I go brownie? I'm in black and white, so I can go anywhere, any direction I want. I've got some foundation on my face, and then I've primed my lids with the Danessa Myricks Nude Fix No. 8, because that's just what I use all the time at the moment. Let's use the shade, this might be a bit light, but we'll use the shade Library, almost to kind of set like a wash of colour in the crease, that kind of shade. Let's see how that looks. And I'll lean that way a bit so I can have my mirror, because I'm not holding up that £42 Smoky palette. I think I'm going to try and go quite greyish, because the Bella Beaute Bar Freya palette does kind of scream greyish, doesn't it? One of the things, and I said it in new makeup, is I can look at that collab palette between Bella Beaute Bar and Freya, and I can appreciate that it's pretty. Like, I am drawn to it. I love all the shimmers, got no issue with the shimmers in there, but the mattes don't go deep enough for my sort of personal preference. When it was first released, I was a bit concerned about the depth, like I've got to be careful not to repeat myself too much here with new makeup here. Seeing Deandra's swatches, it kind of confirmed for me that it wouldn't be a palette I would reach for, so it was a no-brainer. It was not a palette I would buy, which is typical really, because I think it's eventually going to be available at Glisten Cosmetics, because they stock Bella Beaute Bar now, but there hasn't been a release yet that I've wanted to get. And I noticed that, I mean, it is very new, it's only just been released, and Glisten don't have it yet, so even if I had wanted it, I wouldn't have been able to have it. I do want to add some depth in the corner. I don't want black like tattoo. Maybe I'll go with Tuxedo, which looks, it's almost navy. But I think that's probably as deep as I would want to go. It is first thing in the morning, so we're doing a soft smoky eye rather than a full-on in-your-face, wow, nighttime kind of smoky eye. There's just something about Beauty Bay. I mean, you could just buy all the Beauty Bay £42 palettes and call it a day, to be honest. I mean, it'd be a bit unwieldy. I don't think you could travel with, well, I mean, you could, they're just a bit bulky. Having said that, they're thin, they're just large in shape, but they do cover everything, and the formula is decent, it really is. And I know there was a moment of panic, shall we say, where we lost Beauty Bay momentarily. I did suspect at the time that it would only be temporary. I think Beauty Bay is one of those brands that it does so well, it makes you wonder how they ended up going bankrupt in the first place, really, doesn't it? Bizarre. But yeah, I suspected when they went bust and disappeared briefly that it wouldn't be for long, and it wasn't at all. I mean, was it like a month? Hardly. I think you kind of blink and you might have missed that they'd disappear. And I think it would have been a shame if they hadn't been able to come back, because they definitely have a place in the market, especially with their own brand, just for their affordability and the fact that for the price point they're really good. That's quite smoky. I'm going to go in with some nice shimmers. I guess I could have gone with Smolder, but then I don't know, I didn't even think of Smolder. I went straight for Smoky instead of Smolder. I do wonder, maybe I'll get Smolder out and see if that's closer on its own to Yin and Yang than Smoky. I don't know. We're already at the shimmer stage. Yeah, let's keep it simple. We don't have to boil the ocean. No, I think that's the right way to use that phrase. I think so. Do I want to put some glitter? Yeah, let's put a bit of NYX glitter primer down. I'm also expecting a delivery. It was supposed to come yesterday between 3:30 and 4:30. Obviously I waited until that point. I probably should have gone out before that point so I could be back before that window. But then we got to that window and no sign of them, and then I was like, I really have to go to the shops actually. I need to go. The friend I'm meeting today, I'd already got her a present, but I had to pick her up a card. And then I also needed like some fresh stuff, like some veggies to have with my dinner. So I did really need to leave the house, and I thought to myself, oh, I'll hang on a bit longer, and then it got to almost 6, and I was like, no, I'm gonna have to go. And I feel as though that every delivery man was waiting around the corner for me to leave the house, and that's when he decided to rock up with my delivery. Typical. But it's apparently out for delivery again today and due any moment, so let's see. And in case you're wondering what it is, it's a pair of trainers, not makeup. And I'm just looking at Deandra's swatches just to kind of see the shimmers involved. So I know I said I wouldn't dupe properly, but we'll just have a little look. Should we have a little swatch? So Mask looks like it could be a shimmer that's in there. It's a bit duller. River could be a good one to use. So what I'm noticing is definitely the shimmers in Bella Beaute Bar have got some intensity, they've got some pop. Like the shimmers in Beauty Bay, they're not bad, but when it comes to comparing them to indie formulas, that's where they're gonna fall flat, like literally. But River's a good one. Maybe I do River and Glass. Should we have a look at Cauldron and Void? Yeah, see, they're all in that vein. They're not exact dupes, but they're giving the feeling of yin and yang. They're scratching the itch. I think River and Mask would look rather delightful together, so I'm going to go with River and Mask. River on the outside. I'm almost sort of laying this down, and then I'll tidy things up with a brush. Ooh, I like that. Cool. Now, because I am short on time, I am going to just tidy this up a bit with a brush. Do something under eye, I'll probably flip things around a little bit, and then I'll come back with an almost finished face. Almost. I've done most of my face. I've done my eyeliner because I can't do my eyeliner on camera. I can barely do my eyeliner at the best of time, and I don't want the pressure of having to do it while I'm filming, so my eyeliner's on, but my mascara isn't. And what I've also done is I've got concealer under my eyes, and I've got some Made by Mitchell Cherry Cola Curve Case on my cheeks, and what I'll probably do is set that with a powder blush. And I was trying to find my Trigwell Cosmetics Pretty Privilege. I don't know where I've put that, so instead I'm going to use this NYX Buttermelt blush, presuming I can open it, because I'm having some difficulty at the moment. Here we go. In, what's this one? Butter with Thyme. I'm going to use that. But first, shall I set my under eyes a little bit with the Huda Beauty pressed powder, which I'm really liking. Honestly, this Huda might have done something with this. She might have done. And just get a little poof, dab the excess on the back of my hand, and then press. And I probably should have zoomed you in so you could see, but it really does blur things. So if you can sort of see how it looks there, and I think I picked up far too much. Excess on the back of my hand, and then tapping under the eye. And can you see how it's just smoothed everything out and just blurred it? I hope you can. I use it in the shade Cinnamon Bun there. Then I am going to go into that Buttermelt, like I said I would, very lightly, but there's just something about when you have an eye look like this. I just think it goes really, really well with like a super pink blush. And I don't need much, it's effectively just to set. I mean, they're both very pigmented products, the Curve Case and the NYX Buttermelt Blush, so it's probably overkill to use them in combination, but I am a blush fiend. I love a bit of blush. Do we know blush blindness here? I just think that that's just how you should put blush on. I don't know if it's overkill to then go in with You Butter Work as a highlighter. Should I do it anyway? Yeah, why not? Come on, lighting. Behave, behave. I always apply one side better than the other. I haven't done it in a corner highlight. Should we do that now? I could, do I go with the white? Actually, there's a shimmer in here called Fairy that I think might be a perfect inner corner highlight, so I'm going to use that. Fairy's perhaps a little chunky, but it's a nice inner corner highlight, I think. Should I go super pink for the lippy as well? Or should I go dark? Either brown, maybe because it's daytime I go pink. If it was an evening I might go like a dark brown, but maybe I'll go pink. I'm also going to use my Huda setting spray. Now I quite like the Huda setting spray, but the sprayer is a bit vicious, for want of a better word. So what I find I have to do is, after I've given it a good shake and I've sprayed it on, I then go in with my powder brush and just dab over my whole face and smooth everything out, because if I don't and I just let it dry down, I can sometimes just end up with splotches of spray on my face. So that happened to me the first time I used it, and you don't really notice it really until it dries down. So that would be my tip if you happen to get a Huda Beauty setting spray that is a bit over enthusiastic in application and just dumps the liquid all over your face. For my lips, I'm going to try the combo of Here on Earth from Made by Mitchell and the Say Modern Lip Blur. That could work. Actually not as pink as I remember. I thought it was a bit more vibrant, but I think that's perfect actually. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. That was probably a lot. I think I've got some in my mouth there as well, not gonna lie. And then I don't know if you can see any splotches, but I just like to go over it a little bit with a big old fluffy brush. And that's me done. Shall I zoom you right in so you can see the eyes up close? So this is, I think this is a look that you could probably get out of Yin and Yang. I could probably do with blending that a bit more, but that's fine. Very easily a look I think that could be achieved with the Bella Beaute Bar and Freya collab. And as I say, it caught my eye, it did, but I just know that for the price point there are too many shades in there that I wouldn't reach for. And I really, really liked the idea of the palette, so then I immediately thought, well, what do I have that could give me that look, that feel, that vibe? And immediately I thought Smoky. So if you're eyeing Bella Beaute Bar X Freya Yin and Yang and you're sitting on the fence and you don't want to shell out the money, then Smoky from Beauty Bay could be a reasonable dupe. It could certainly scratch the itch. I'm just saying. Like I said at the beginning, don't come at me because the formulas are going to be different. I know they're going to be different, but it could still hit the spot. I hope that doing a look today using Smoky if you're coveting the Yin and Yang palette, then don't forget that there are alternatives. And I'm all about alternatives these days. I finally, having said that, I finally picked up 2 more palettes. So I'm now up to 4 palettes from the year. And that's because Adept Cosmetics had free shipping to the UK. So I finally bought EBEs, which I've been eyeing for I don't know how long, well, since it was released, basically. And then Emo, which, when that was released, I ummed and ahed and I wasn't sure, but enough people have told me since that it's a stunning palette that I've caved and I've picked up Emo. So my palette purchase count for the year is up to 4. But on the whole, when it comes to buying new things, I'm going to be looking to what I've already got first. Get ready for a lot more scratch that itches, mainly to dissuade myself from making purchases. Not that I need much dissuading at the moment, but if it can also help you to look in your own collection and shop your stash even, I'm all for it. So yeah, more scratch that itches, and I probably will do them more in depth where I'll fully dupe out a palette as much as I can based on images and swatches that I can see. This has just been a bit short and sweet just because I'm short on time, and that's poor planning on my part, but I'll be better in the future. As always, thank you for taking the time to watch. I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and I also hope to see you again in a video in the not too distant future. Take care. Bye. And I apologise in advance because it's not quite as in-depth as my scratch that